Welcome to the channel and oxygen not included, the agricultural upgrade. Now this upgrade was released on the 18th of May 2017 if you're watching this in the future, when the game went into early access on Steam. Originally I was not going to do a series on this game, not because I dislike it, I actually do enjoy playing it, but mainly due to time constraints. And then I was kind of playing the game off camera, fiddling around, and I noticed how much this upgrade has changed the nature of the game. It's a really big change, and it's changed the fundamental processes of the game. And I was also been watching a few people on YouTube, and I kind of thought, well, a lot of them are just jumping straight in talking about the new upgrade, but I think they're kind of skating over some of the original basics of the game. So I suddenly thought, well, why not? Let's do a regular series on this where I can learn the game with you guys, make the mistakes, discuss the issues and point things out. So this is going to be more of a exploration of the game as it grows and evolves. It's not going to be this is a fantastic colony and this is how this works, that how it works. So I'm going to leave that to the people who are really into the nuts and bolts of the games. This is going to be very much a shared learning experience. Feel free to comment. I will try and answer your questions. I will make the mistakes. I will then give you the observations of what I've done. I think that's big enough for an introduction, so let's just get into the new game, because I'm going to go on to what I think is probably one of the most important screens. Welcome to this screen, guys. This is the duplicant kind of initialization screen. It says at the top here, assemble your crew to begin, and what you've actually got to do is select 3 duplicants who will found your colony, develop it to a point where it's going to work. And so this is quite an important screen. Now I'm aware that if you're new to the game, you'll look at this and step back and think, well, what's this actually mean? So I think what I'm going to do is just go through and talk about what the various parts are. You get 3 separate duplicants, you can rename them, and what you've got at the top here is you've got the attributes, which relate to the jobs that your duplicants can do within the colony. So this is the kind of the area that you're looking for, but associated with these attributes is you've got traits here, and the green implies that's a positive and that's a negative. But see where it says uncultured here, see that it says refuses to do job art. So some of the so-called good traits have hidden stings in them. So if Ada had a high creativity here, which is to do with art and decor, she wouldn't do the job. So there's no point having an uncultured person with high creativity. And now at the bottom is what I think is probably the most important area you need to watch when you're selecting duplicates, especially with this agricultural update, in the sense that this kind of configures the rate of which your duplicates will gather stress and the result of when they actually get stressed. Now the decor expectation, you can see here, this duplicant requires 0 or higher decor values that will become stressed in areas of lower decor. So if this duplicant has a very high decor expectation, they're going to get stressed very, very quickly. And then below there, this is new for the agricultural update, they are now susceptible to food quality. So if they're eating poor quality food, that's going to stress them out. And the lowest value for that down here is -3. So on the surface here, Ada looks ideal, but she's a mouth breather, and that means she's going to consume lots of extra oxygen. So again, you need to think what you're actually looking for in your initial colony. So what you want is, you don't want anyone with really any bad traits. I think you can probably go to a decor expectation of 10, 5 or 10 if you've got somebody with good attributes. You want the food quality -3, -2 is probably what you're looking for. Anyway, what you're going to do, and the way you're going to do this, guys, is just shuffle. And the way I tend to do it is, you don't really want a narcoleptic in your first colony because they fall asleep during the day. They're also a binge eater. You do not want a binge eater in your colony. They will destroy your colony when they get stressed. They will sit there and just literally eat all the food, and you just can't seem to get them away. They just sit there eating food, and that's it. So binge eater you do not want in your colony under any circumstance, no matter how good their attributes are. Bottomless stomach, again, you can use them later on, but not in there. Loud sleeper, again. Flatulence, what I'm looking for. Slow learner, buff, he's a binge eater, don't want that. And the way I'm looking for is I'm looking for the highest trait I'm really looking for is somebody with creativity 4 or 5, somebody with a bit of learning, and maybe some athletics as well, and maybe a little bit of strength if possible. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. So I think I'll just spin through these guys now, see if I can find somebody that's ideal. Now, Meeps, that's pretty good. He's got an all-round set of skills. He's a yokel, which means he can't do research, but he's an interior decorator, which gives him that. He's got a +6 creativity, a little high for me, but I think I can live with a decor expectation of 10. So I think we will do that. So that gives us our creativity person, and sometimes what I like to do is just do this. I just flip between the two. We've got a gastrophobe here with an iron gut, -15. He's got a nice rounded set of stats. I mean, to me he's got low stats in everything, but you've got to remember is duplicants will learn by doing things. So -15, -3 is a vomiter, and so what we really need now is just to see what type of stats we can get in here. Okay guys, I think this is probably the 3 that I'm going to go with, just to have a quick review. These guys have got a level 10, which means I'm going to have to manage their stress from an early age, but it's worth remembering that you now have early access to the massage table, so you can get it going. They've got different ones here. You've got a quick learner here, which means he's going to develop his traits. He's got a level 7 cooking, so he's probably going to be the cook, but he's also level 5 learning, which means he's going to be good for research. So I've got an artist here, somebody who's good for research, and then we've got Grossman, who's a bit of an all-rounder. I think that's who we're going to go with. As I say, we can manage this stress and expectation with these two, especially Travade. He's going to be doing research. If we keep him close to somewhere where there's some nice decor, that will keep him happy. And I think what we're going to do is, there we are, we're going to go for the hopeful crash pad, and I think that's all we can do now guys, so let's kind of get into the game. Alert, your crew has woken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar asteroid. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here, and the first thing you want to do is pause. You can see our 3 little duplicants here. You can move around by holding the right click button, and you want to pause the game. The first thing you want to do is come up here, and this is new to the agricultural update. This allows you to configure your kind of new duplicants. What you want to do is turn off combat, turn off art, and what you want is one person doing creativity. You really only want your best person doing the learning, and Meeps doing the creativity. They've got -1 there, and what I like to do is turn off that. What I like to is to have one of them assigned to art, research, and no, I don't want that. That's Hydrofan. I don't know why I did that. This is the one I'm looking for. Power. So we'll have Meep doing art and power to start with, or what we could do is get Grossman. Actually, he's got athletics 1. He's creative. Well, I think we can go with that to start with. Oops, keep on doing that. There's some, like, if I press E, you can actually get there's a shortcuts to the top menus. Let's have a look around guys. Now we've got some water down here, got some plants that are good to harvest, we've got close access to metal. What you're looking for is access to algae, and because algae will help you during your initial kind of opening the colony up, and plants are a lot more rarer now, or to get sustainable crops, what you actually need is more access to these plants. But I think this is looking good, and you can see how your colony requires toilets, so we're actually going to come this way first, simply because that will take us through metal. We need metal. If you kind of undo the game here and let them run, and as you see, as they dig resources, it will unlock things. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to come out. What I like to do is have a kind of shelf each side of this area, because if I show you the decor, this has a high decor. So by getting these guys out digging, And what we're probably going to do is come down here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I always have 3 spaces for a ladder. And we've got carbon dioxide here. I don't really want to break. Oh, we've got a nice biome here. Snow. That's useful. I think we can do something with that. And we'll get these guys to dig into here. We may have to break into this carbon dioxide, but I think I will break in from it into it from below. The outhouses are in plumbing, even though they don't take plumbing. And what I like to do is get a couple of outhouses out here. So we get there. Got these tooltips. Useful if you've never played the game before, guys. Very, very useful to do. We're just going to get them to dig out here. And what you've got up here is sand. Sand's a pain in the neck, to be honest, guys. You dig through it and then it just drops down and buries. I'm kind of half tempted at the moment to cancel that. Oh, it's too late. And what you'll see is, as he digs it out, it actually comes. I shouldn't have dug up through there because, well, we've got resources, and what we're going to do now is kind of come down like that. And what I'm going to do is dig through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll get a 4 is the optimal for placing things. The reason I'm coming through here is because what I want to do is break through into here, but from underneath, and that metal's coming in quite nicely. So, and what you need to do is go for power and research straight away. And what I'm thinking of is coming through into here. The carbon dioxide will drop down into here, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the neck, but I think we can, if I dig through here like that, and we can drop a second ladder down into this area. What I'm going to do is dig down to here first. Down that way. This is carbon dioxide as well. Okay. And I think what we can do is get some of these in here. What I'm thinking is, if we dig down to here, open up this area, this has got oxygen in it, and when we break through here, the carbon dioxide will flow down like that into this area. And what I like to do is have seeds in one, and then everything else in there except seeds. What you can do now is copy settings, and what we really need to do is just bump the priority, get rid of those so that the oxygen will circulate down here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is come down here first. And I'm going to cancel that for the moment. I want them to come into here first. Then I think we'll come up. Then the carbon dioxide will flow down this way. They're puffing away, because that's, if I click here, you see we got lots and lots of carbon dioxide, and that's why I want to open this up first, because then this will bring the oxygen up from there. So we'll get them down into here first. And then what you will see is as this breaks through, the carbon dioxide here will flow down through into here. And what I'm going to do is, you can now see what you're harvesting by doing that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can now 1, 2, 3, 4 break into here like this, come up from below like that. Where's the other two gone? Where are you? Oh, you're off. You knocked off for lunch. And you will see now that the oxygen's now rising up through here, and it will rise up from this oxalate here, and that will actually help pressurize this area. I mean, I will clean this out and square this. Eventually I would dig through here, but once this breaks through, we'll pipe out the carbon dioxide from here. There we are. You'll see this carbon dioxide will now flow down in this area, and the oxygen will expand into this area, and I think we can now come through like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where kind of come into like that area, like that. Yeah, say these guys aren't the sharpest packs in the box. They will get themselves stuck at regular intervals. And through there, like that. Now we've got the gap here. We'll cut through here. And we can now get they'll put the research station there, and we'll have a couple of batteries there. We should have plenty of power. So I kind of come up like this. I never connect this to the power wheel until this is built, because what will happen is if this is connected to the research station, what will happen is you'll get one duplicant on here, one on here, and things will kind of not run that well. Oh, we got some sleek wheat down here. We're certainly going to try and get down to get that as quickly as possible, because sleek wheat seems to be the main food source, especially when you don't have many seeds, so that's going to be an issue. So we'll get the research up and running, and then I think what we're going to have to do is, once that's done, we're just going to have to tidy up this corner a little bit. And I think this is going to be my power room over here. So, right, we can now come here, we'll give it a bit of a priority 7. And what I like to do is just up the priority on these a little bit, not massively. You can see now we've got Meep on here, who's now charging the batteries up. We've got some research to do, and we're just going to do farming. Always do farming first. And what we're going to do first things first is close off this corner here and pick out through there. And you can see now the carbon dioxide is dropping down here quite nicely. This is a bit low pressure, but it'll be okay. Let's say the carbon dioxide will come down here. And next thing we need to do is think about what we're going to do for beds. I think what we might do is break through here and then encourage this hatch to come out this way. You might get a hint. But first things first, how we got for edibles, we've got nearly 25,000 kilocalories, that's good. I mean, we do need a bit of a sweep out. I think probably we'll come up this way for the beds. Lots of sand up here, a bit worried about the water up here. We've got an ice biome down here, 2 nice ice biomes. I think that's going to work quite well. So, yeah, those. I like the 3 gaps, and the way to think about the decor is the decor flows, doesn't go through walls. The decor's quite odd. Like if I show you here, guys, it says storage compactors have a negative impact, so they're having a negative impact on that. And if I come here, you will see it says debris, ladders, electrical wire. And if I come here, lighting tiles, debris ladders, and the outhouse. Outhouse is spread 2 tiles. If I built an outhouse there, it would affect that ladder there, but it doesn't seem to go through solid objects for some reason. Right, I'm just going to build this out to here, and I think that's looking good, guys. We've got research going, we've got some batteries going, we've got some compactors here, and I think what we will do is put a couple more storage containers. I'm going to keep it away from the edge, so we're going to get storage containers there so they can start. Actually, cancel that one. I'm going to put the outhouse there, and if you click on here, what you will see is that as this opens up, when you get more resources, it will actually. And I think what we can do is store organics in here, but you don't want polluted dirt in here. And I think we can now go up. I think we're going to go up. We might as well go up and consume this space here. And I think we'll go across like that. These are outhouses. Okay, cancel. We're going to come this way, because who the heck wants to sleep above the outhouse? Now, we've got this sand here, which will run all the way up there. So, oh, looks like we've got research, but I just want to scroll towards the game here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is come like that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the way I'm actually going to do this is we're going to. That's got oxygen, so we're going to come like that. And I think what we can do is go up and break into here, so this oxygen comes down. And research is finished. Let's get some more going. This is the advantage of there, and I certainly want the decor going. And what I want is furniture. And what I'm going to do is put the massage table there, because if I show you, the massage table has healing capability for sore backs, but it needs power. And of course, for some strange reason, compost bins are classified as a refinement, although I'm not too sure exactly how that actually works out. But if we break through here, what we would be able to do is, I don't know if they can sneak through that gap, but what would be nice to do is actually get them to harvest that as well. I don't think they will get through that gap. You may have to wait for the oxalite to go, but what that will do is that will push oxygen down into there. Well, he's managed to harvest that. Oh yeah, he's gone through. And here, grab some more food there. That's going to be quite useful. And we've got an oxygen requirement there, but I think we're okay. Now, this is where it gets a bit complicated, guys, because pre the agricultural update, once you've got access to the food planters, you would just whack them down. But you can see here, I've only got 2 9mm with 2 blossom seeds, and I'm not going to get the ideal conditions for those at the moment. So what I'm actually going to do is there, and if I show you up here, you can also get somebody's gaining skills. Eureka, research complete. Yes, so thank you. Of course, they're going back to sleep, but we do need the stress will start to build up. Have a quick look to see what we've got in the way of a duplicant. Dimensionally, mouth breather. Don't want a mouth breather at the moment. I don't think you've really got the traits. Dimensionally inept, can't build. All vitamins getting sick. They're buff. They're a binge eater. Nah. We're going to stick with what we got. And I think you can just keep this coming out like that. And of course I haven't done that. It might explain why they're not actually digging this out, but and been tidying up. But tidying up is not a bad thing, guys. I can assure you. Is having a nice, neat, tidy base is very, very important. because when they've got a nice, neat, tidy base, the decor is is lower. You can see here where we've got so much there. You can see that debris is at -127 down here, but that's not a problem because they're not going to come down here very often, except for to get resources. So I think we're doing okay here, guys. I need to keep an eye on the time. I don't want these to be too long. And we've now got, just research, was it decor, wasn't it? Okay, let's. Now I would like to do fine dining, but we need a supercomputer for that. So I think for the moment we'll do liquid piping, and I think what I'm going to do is, we've got snow there. If I dig into here, that's going to get wet, and also to get fine dining we're going to need access to water. Not fine dining, yeah, but to get the supercomputer we're going to need access to water. We don't really have that much in the way of access. We've got water up here. Wait, I want you up here to build this first before you do it. That's it, do your job. I think what we're going to do is fill this in first. We're going to have to go slow on the supercomputer, which is a little bit unfortunate, but and you can see by doing 3 and like that, they will put that in. Hopefully they will do that tile and seal off all this sand before they actually do anything, but anything's possible with duplicants. Yeah, you do that, and of course he's just going to dig. Great. But oh well, so much for that idea. But at least he's dug all that out, and then of course he will come in and fill the gap in, so we won't lose the oxygen. And of course he's going to work below. Oh great, you've got no, need that dug out because the sand here's got through from there. I think what we can do now is get in the cots. Now you don't want cots like that because you get bad decor from there. Plus you may want to put a statue there. And what I like to do is kind of just space them through like that. That can come out, that can come out. And I think what we can do is dig through here to here. And dig there. And that oxygen will come up through there. And I was doing something. Oh yes, we need access to water. I think we're going to go for this water here, so we're going to break through into here. Wow, we are certain. What I'm going to do is we're powering through the research, guys, because this guy's so good. I think we're going to get all 3 of them working on the job at the moment. Yeah, that's it. Get rid of that. Open up that there. We've still got plenty of food, so we don't quite need the micro musher just at the moment. And I think the oxygen's good, so no, it's not that good. So we're gonna have to get the oxygen deoxidizer here. I think kind of this. I'm not sure. There's a -10 decor for 2 areas here. I think what we're going to do is dig down here and come in to like that and dig here. And I'm going to put this here so that it's far enough away so that we're up and down the ladder, and because everything accumulates. This is what you've got to remember, guys, is that, so we'll get that there, but the trouble is I don't know if this actually needs water. I don't think it does. I think it just needs algae, which is one of the reasons why you actually need good algae here. Right, that didn't work, they didn't finish that. Okay. And really need a good sweep through here, but I think to do that I need, I'm going to come this way and we're going to dig through here, and we're going to put a couple of storage compactors there. What I like to do is spread the storage compactors round the base so that when they sweep, they're not all, they need resources, they don't actually kind of keep running backwards and forwards. And I think you can dig this now. Well, oh, no, cancel that. I don't want you to dig the oxalite. Ah, so that's what they do. They stop here and go straight up there. And I do wonder sometimes if they actually have a bias towards things that they're good at. They tend to do those straight away. And what we'll do is we come in here. I just want to check. Yeah, organic seeds, filtration. Yep, very good. Of course, we've now got this. I've got a feeling also with the agriculture upgrade, they've boosted these a bit. I think they're a bit more efficient than they used to be. And of course, it also generates heat. So if I show you the thermal, although I think they've nerfed the heat as well from the original. I'll copy that. Drop one in there. Drop one in there. And I think we can now dig through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you can cancel there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll dig through above eventually. And I think we can come out. 1, 2, 3. And eventually we'll just make this actually what we can do. Hey, stop beating up on my duplicants. I'm going to have to, and again we're going to harvest these first. Then we can't harvest those, we can only dig them. But we want the harvest first, and then we'll dig them to get the seeds. We've got some millwood seeds now, so we've actually got a few seeds that we could plant if necessary. What's the temperature? Gas pressure's high, the temperature's a bit cold for plants. Okay, so we've now got a gap through here, and we've got 1, 2, 3. I think what we can do is dig this out now, and I think we can come across 2 more, and what I want to do is come down into here. Mainly to get access to the algae. Get that up there, because we need to get to this water. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think what we're going to do is come down like that, just with 2 ladders. I think that will work, and then we can adjust this when we're ready to go, guys. And I think what we can do, this is nice and cold, so we'll get whack the supercomputer in here, connect this up. But as I said, there's no point having the supercomputer unless you've got access to water. So what we can do is get that underway with the basic research while these 2 guys dig down through here. There's some oxygen concentration there. The base is getting a bit big, which is slightly worrying, but it's got very high gas pressure in here. Now the thing to remember is that if you look here, the gas pressure in this area is rising, and it's because of the pressure of the oxygen up here, which is higher than this, which is compressing the carbon dioxide into this area. But should the oxygen pressure drop, the carbon dioxide will then expand outwards. So that's something to remember. But what I'm going to do, I eventually do, is I will dig through here and then move the carbon dioxide this way. We've got some more oxalite down here which could be useful. So we're just going to come down here. I think we can live at the base the way it is at the moment. We've got oxygen up here that's keeping things nicely stabilised. I think so what we got here is got some decor that's open. We've now got plumbing, got pipe work. We'll be working on that in the future. And the other thing I like to do is put decor up, and what I do is work from the ladder so that these will always walk past this. And again, if I show you here, This actually has a +5 decor effect for a 6 tile radius. So when that's built, it will come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you've got the artwork in, that will actually increase it as well. So that's the way you want to think about it. Oh, okay, guys, I'd like a little bit of a priority, please. Now, when you come into water, here's a kind of a top tip, guys. When you come into water above here, do not dig out each side, because what invariably will happen is one of the duplicants will be stood there, they will get something dug out from underneath them, and then they will drop down here and drown. Generally, if they're working on ladders, they tend to work down the ladder vertically. They're not quite so bad. We've now got the supercomputer. We certainly need to tidy the colony up, especially this area. So I think once we've got the water connection here, and normally you can only have 2 of them working in this area at any one time. You can see he's walking all the way back round to here. They can be a bit illogical, guys. And he's gained a skill. He's gained construction. And this is one of the problems. They love to run around the colony. And I think what I'm going to need is some. I have to put a couple of these in. What I'm going to do is put them on the dirt for the moment, and then that means on this side of the colony, once these are built, they won't be walking all the way over here. This is what I was saying, that was a bit of a fail on my side part, guys. And of course this guy's going to have to do a bit more jumping on the batteries now, purely and simply because we've got this running, which is creating demand. I don't think we haven't got any new duplicant in 77 seconds. I think I'll play till we get the new duplicant, and then we'll be okay. We're going to lose a little bit of food here, because you can see it's just dropped straight down. And of course, to put water in the supercomputer, he's going to have to walk all the way through there. So what we're going to have to do is dig a path through here ASAP. And I'll probably mark it out through here like this. You can see him carrying the water. He's going to carry it all the way over here, down this ladder into the supercomputer, and you probably want to do multiple trips. Oh well, we've got a duplicant now, so hopefully we'll have someone who's there. Scaredy Cat, Twin Nose, Ugly Crier, Lindsay, she's got 7 athletics, that's good. I think we're going to go with Lindsay. And print Lindsay, we've already got a bed for her. And I'm just going to copy up these settings. Get these up here, and what I'm going to do for the moment is I'm just going to have a little bit of a major clear up, guys. In fact, I'm going to set a sweep all the way through here. Because this is dragging the whole decor down for this whole part of the colony, so it's long overdue. Just have a quick look at jobs. Lindsay, what are you good at? Power, athletics. You're now our athletics power person. Yeah, a reasonable cook, but I think we'll just keep you off cooking for the moment. And we've got no research. What I'm going to do is, this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. What I'm going to do is let the colony run on. We're not going to set up any more research just yet, because we're well ahead with the research, and we've just opened. We've got more power. We've got a thermo switch. We've got a bit more plumbing and some utilities here. And what I'm going to do is let it run on off camera, let them sweep out the entire base because it's not particularly very interesting. And then in the next part we're going to pick up and start looking at food. So this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the episode, hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.